Welcome to the Carbonite Jedi, where the Force will be with you always. Well, today I was looking around and I saw this article. And for me, I'm a Star Wars purist. I like Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Some of my friends have kind of turned me on to the prequels, The Phantom Menace, The Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. I'm enjoying them now. When I first saw them, I didn't enjoy them very much, but the sequels, I am not a huge fan of the sequels. I mean, every so often there's something that's cool in the sequels that I like, but for me, I guess I'm an old school purist. If you like it, good for you. My channel is open to everybody who loves Star Wars. I love it if you come in and bring your theories and your ideas and your thoughts about the prequels, the sequels, and the original three. I'd love to read them. I'd love to see them, and then I'll give you mine. And it's such a wonderful thing that we can come together and talk about it and not get into fisticuffs about it. I'm looking at an article, and it says, and this is Luke or Mark Hamill talking as Luke Skywalker. I'm going to walk out with a laser sword and face down the First Order. And it says Star Wars already explained why Luke couldn't save the galaxy 9 years before the first Jedi, 9 years before the Last Jedi. So let me bring up the article and we can go through it. All right, there it is. It says Luke Skywalker couldn't save the galaxy by himself, and Dave Filoni already explained why. The Jedi are not all powerful and can be outnumbered, which that's kind of common sense. And there's the Emperor in his decaying body, and there's Luke. All right, it says Luke Skywalker wasn't able to save the galaxy single-handedly in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, but there was already an explanation for why he couldn't 9 years before the movie. Luke was one of the most powerful Jedi ever, but the First Order was too big of a threat for him. Dave Filoni, the Clone Wars showrunner, offered the explanation in a defense of one of his prequel-era episodes. Dooku's capture set up an important precedent. Force users, including Jedi, are not all powerful. There have been many times throughout Star Wars where Jedi were overwhelmed by being outnumbered. Order 66 only worked because a single Jedi cannot defend themselves from all angles simultaneously, unless you're Yoda. Some of the most impressive showcases of Jedi's power came from defeating groups of enemies, but even the most powerful Jedi would not even think of facing off against an enemy as strong as the First Order alone. Luke Skywalker couldn't save the day alone. In the Clone Wars, Season 1, Episode 11, Dooku Captured, Count Dooku was surrounded by a group of pirates before being captured by them. Excuse my cat. It can be hard to understand why one of the most powerful Sith ever could be captured by a pirate. So Filoni defended his decision and introduced an important precedent. He said that the key factor was not Dooku's power, but rather a matter of sheer numbers. Dooku gets captured by a bunch of pirates. Yes. Now that I think is very hard to believe, except that there are 30 pirates around him. Now I agree wholeheartedly that Dooku is incredibly powerful, but the fact remains that if he gets into a fight with 30 pirates, yes, he might kill 15 of them, but he will get shot and he will go down. All you got to do is watch Attack of the Clones. How does Count Dooku thwart those Jedi? Sheer numbers. Sheer numbers will defeat the Jedi. Jedi were important, powerful players in Star Wars, but the true focus of the movies was the galaxy as a whole, not individual people. The First Order was an extremely powerful military and political entity with countless soldiers at its disposal. No one person, even a Jedi, would have been able to topple them. Rey was only able to defeat them and the Emperor once the entire galaxy joined the fight. Even Luke needed the Rebel Alliance to defeat the Empire. The galaxy needed to free itself to make any lasting change, and the Jedi were only ever able to help with that goal. The Last Jedi proved that even the strongest Jedi needed help from friends along the way. And then it talks about Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and the second installment of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. General Leia Organa leads the Resistance forces against the First Order. Meanwhile, Luke Skywalker struggles to come to terms with his past failures, while Rey urges him to train her in the Force and join the Resistance. Culminating in a massive battle between the two armies, The Last Jedi raises the stakes of the intergalactic war and sees the final fight of one beloved character. 2017, man, that was 6 years ago. So there's the article. What do you think about it? As for me, you know, I think in the original 3 movies, there was Obi-Wan and there was Luke. And in the Star Wars, they didn't expect Obi-Wan and Luke to defeat the Empire. You have Obi-Wan fighting Darth Vader, another Force user. He doesn't fight everybody else. He fights another Force user. And I think it's ridiculous to think that people would expect Luke to come out of retirement to defeat the whole order. The only thing that he could do would be go in to defeat Kylo Ren. That would have been the only reason he would have fought, basically. I mean, really. I mean, there was Snoke and there was Kylo Ren and he had Rey. He could have gone in and they could have, defeated Kylo Ren and Rey. I mean, Kylo Ren and Snoke. So when they come in here and they're like thinking Luke's this Messiah and he's gonna take on the First Order single-handedly, it's ridiculous. The only reason the Jedi fought, I mean, in the Clone Wars, they Revenge of the Sith, they were the generals in the army. They didn't really fight, but they would fight. I think if they would have reread the script and had Luke come out of retirement or exile or whatever he was in, self-exile, to fight, he would have fought Kylo Ren. He might have jumped in an X-Wing or the Millennium Falcon and flown around and blown up some stuff, but his focus would have been the other Force users to create balance in the Force, because that's what he would do. I mean, he was a Jedi, and he was fighting the Sith or the Dark Force users. Since Kylo really wasn't a Sith, he would have gone in and he would have taken care of Kylo, even though it was his nephew. That's my thought. I think you can't expect a single Jedi to take on the First Order. He would come in and he would take care of the other Force users, and then let the Princess Leia with her fleet of rebels and the rest of the galaxy come in and wipe up the rest. Too bad Luke wasn't able to meet up with the Emperor again and put a good whooping on him. That would have been fantastic. Well, that's my thought for the video. Let me know what you think. And again, Luke's just a single Jedi, comes in, beats Kylo, and he either goes home or he goes and hangs out with Leia. And they whoop up on the First Order. And maybe he comes down and whoops up on the Emperor if needed. That's my thought. Have a wonderful day or evening, and come back for more sci-fi and Star Wars content. Also, Black Series unboxings. I've got to put up a poll, and live watches and live streams. And remember, may the Force be with you always. Thank you so much for watching, and leave some comments below. And if you like the video content, go ahead and subscribe. See you later.